Howdy folks, my internet connection's back. Hooray! It only took them 5 days. Boo-hoo! But it's back, and normal service has now been resumed, so of course I wasted no time whatsoever downloading and installing all of the stuff that I missed in the 5 days that I've been without an internet connection, including the Destiny 2 open beta test, World of Tanks patch 9.20, Armored Warfare patch 0.21, World of Warcraft patch 7.3, and of course XCOM2, War of the Chosen, the new expansion pack for XCOM2 by Firaxis Games. Now, I absolutely loved XCOM2 and the DLC, Shen's Last Gift, and it was hard for me to see how Firaxis could possibly improve on the original XCOM2 standalone game, but holy shit, they have delivered in spades. This is amazing. Even playing on complete pussy difficulty, as I do, it makes the game so much more challenging and interesting. I immediately had to start playing a brand new XCOM 2 playthrough, and that's what we have for you today. My initial concern with this new expansion pack was, okay, before we actually get to any of the new content, are we basically going to have to play through the same old campaign missions that we did in the standalone XCOM 2? And there's a kind of yes and no answer to that. The XCOM 2 campaign is still pretty much the same as it was. For those of you who've already played XCOM 2, yes, your first major campaign mission is going to be the Advent Black Site mission. Yes, you still have to expand your resistance network across the globe in order to take on Advent, and yes, the final mission is probably still going to be the raid on the Elder Homeworld. But how you get there is completely different. In fact, you know what, it's just going to be easier if I show you.
Menace 1-5, we're tracking the Advent General and his escorts, but we don't have an exact fix on their location. Sweep the area and eliminate the target along with any other hostiles that stand in your way.
Pretty much right from the word go, once you've got the Avenger up and running and you're ready to embark on your first proper mission, they're changing things already. It's really just the same type of assassination mission that you've already undertaken multiple times in your first playthrough of XCOM 2, but it's slightly different. For a start, it's a completely new environment, although it does bear some similarities to some of the environments that were introduced in the Shen's Last Gift DLC. But the mechanics of the assassination operation also work slightly differently. Previously in XCOM 2, if you were sent on a job to assassinate somebody, they weren't going to go anywhere. You know, you just skirmish your way through to the target location, kill them, and then extract before the reinforcements arrive. And sometimes you are going to get assassination missions just like that, but other times they're going to be like this. We've been sent here to assassinate an Advent General who's making a visit to the field. And the second he realises that he's the target of an assassination attempt, he's going to do what any sane person would do, and he's going to run away. Because he's not stupid. And at that point, you're now on a mission countdown timer. You have to get to him and kill him before he manages to make it to his own evac point. It kind of very neatly flips the situation on its head. Instead of you being the ones trying to reach the evac point before you get overwhelmed by reinforcements, now you're the ones chasing the target to the evac point and trying to catch him before they can get out of there. There are a lot of these little touches in War of the Chosen.
Enemy squad located. Objective in range. Target identity confirmed. That's the General. Take him out before they can escape. We won't get another shot at this.
The tactics involved are basically the same. You don't want that guy running, because he's going to go looking for friends and he's going to hit the extraction point. So you set everybody up on Overwatch, and then when you're ready, you trigger the fight with a big loud explosion. Yeah, that'll teach him to go wandering around abandoned subway stations without an escort. And now it's down to the people that we set up on Overwatch, because he is almost certainly now going to be thinking, screw you guys, I'm going home. Winged him. Pistol shot. Sniper on pistol Overwatch finished him.
Enemy eliminated. Menace 1-5, kill confirmed. That's how it's done. We need to clear the area of any remaining hostiles. We can't allow them to recover the General's body.
So from here on in, we just have to finish the mission by clearing the area of any remaining hostiles, but there are still other new things popping up. Check out my sniper here, taking a shot at a sectoid from raised ground. He's just gained an ability point for using a height advantage shot. It's a skill event. Now, these ability points and how you gain them are something new in War of the Chosen as well. We'll be covering ability points in slightly more detail when we come to actually promote some of our troopers later on. But for now, what you really need to know is that this is XCOM2's new way of encouraging and rewarding you for playing the game properly. Sharpshooters should ideally always be taking shots from higher ground. Every time you do that, you get a skill ability point. Anytime you outflank an enemy and take a shot from a flanking position, for example, you'll get a skill ability point. You see, none of this is particularly new. This is the way you always should have been playing XCOM 2. What's new in War of the Chosen is that it's actively encouraging and rewarding you for doing it.
Target disabled.
We have confirmation. Mission accomplished.
And that's not all that's new. Every time you complete a mission, every time somebody gets promoted, every time somebody gets killed, you get to take a photo to memorialise the event. It's almost completely pointless, although you do get to see some of these pictures that you've taken on completion of missions and after promoting somebody appearing throughout the game scattered around the walls of the various different environments. But while it's fun, it's not exactly a revolutionary new game mechanic. No, trust me, the revolutionary new game mechanics are on the way. And you don't have to wait too long once starting a brand new War of the Chosen save game before you get to experience them firsthand. The big selling point, of course, are the Chosen, the new legendary, ultra elite, badass Advent bad guys. But before you get to meeting them, first we're going to be meeting some of the other resistance groups that we're going to be recruiting from in order to help fight the Chosen. You see, XCOM aren't the only people who are fighting Advent. There are 3 other resistance networks out there: the Reapers, the Templars, and the Skirmishers, and they all hate each other's guts.
You are too trusting, John. The Skirmishers are Advent. Advent is the enemy. The enemy is food.
Try not to bring that up when we meet, Volk.
You take their side after all we've seen these years.
Look, I'm not exactly having drinks with them, but they did hold up their end of the bargain. What about you?
Wait and see. Volk out.
Actually think they might show up. Commander, that was Konstantin Volokov, Volk to his friends. He and his Reapers are a big part of the reason why you're standing here today. Volk may be a little rough around the edges, but he's the real deal. Heads one of 3 resistance groups operating independently from us that we consider a legitimate threat to Advent. Together, they'd make one hell of a fighting force. Too bad they hate each other. Still, we've made some unlikely progress. Volk's Reapers may have found you, but they weren't acting alone. They were tipped off by a group of Advent defectors known as the Skirmishers. No one's big on working with these guys, knowing where they came from. But you wouldn't be here without their help. Both the Reapers and the Skirmishers have agreed to suspend hostilities provided you serve as the go-between. Trust doesn't come easy between these two, so we're heading for a nice, quiet spot on neutral ground. Even so, let's not take any chances. Intel on this area is weak, and we're picking up strange chatter on comms. Not to mention we're ending a decade-long blood feud today. I'd advise our soldiers to be fully prepared before we deploy on this one, Commander. Good luck.
Some of my people could use a hand in the field. Shouldn't be anything too tough. What do you say?
Not sure how long our contacts are going to wait for us, Commander, so I'd recommend we proceed as soon as possible. All available soldiers are standing by to deploy.
Setting course for Sector 12, East Africa.
Each faction has agreed to allow a two-person squad to escort them to the rendezvous point. Hopefully that should be enough to keep them from killing each other. We've got a temporary ceasefire in place for the duration of the meet, but still, that doesn't mean we shouldn't be ready for anything.
Straight away, as soon as you set out to make contacts with the various other resistance networks, War of the Chosen is putting you on the back foot by doing things differently. Instead of your regular 4-person fire team, you have to split your regular team into 2 smaller teams. Each sub-team is going to be contacting a resistance network and bringing them separately to the same rendezvous point.
Commander, each of our soldiers has a unique relationship with their squad mates. As they complete combat missions together, their compatibility will grow and can eventually develop into a lasting bond.
This is also new, and it's also very important. Just like in real life, troops that operate together for extended periods of time come to trust each other and work better as a team when they're deployed with each other. And that's what happens here in War of the Chosen as well. If you keep an eye on the compatibility levels between troops that have worked together previously, you can take advantage of that by forming a bond between 2 of those troops. This can grant you some very unique tactical abilities. There is a downside, of course. You're not always going to be able to send those troops on the same missions together. And if you do, and one of them ends up getting killed, the consequences for the other one can be spectacularly negative.
The Reapers and Skirmishers have been at each other's throats for years, so we're keeping the exact meeting point strictly need to know. You'll split into 2 squads, rendezvous with each faction, and bring their envoy directly to the location of the meet. Officially, this city no longer exists, so we don't expect a lot in the way of Advent resistance. Still, keep your eyes peeled. It's been about 20 years since we last stepped foot in this place. Proceed to the first set of coordinates. Firebrand and the second team will head to the next drop point.
Detecting increasing biological signatures in the area ahead.
Then I'd say we're in the right place. Stay sharp out there today, people. Just because this city was abandoned doesn't mean it's lifeless.
If you are hungry, there's more where that came from. Impressive reflexes, but unnecessary.
Stand down. We're all friends here.
You are safe here. More so than you imagine.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Reapers.
We shall see if the same holds true for these skirmishers of yours. Your presence already disturbs them. We must move quickly. My people will take care of this camp. Come.
Not entirely sure why the Russian resistance network is setting up operations in East Africa, but we're just going to roll with it.
Uploading the coordinates to the rendezvous point now. We've plotted the most direct route there. We don't know much about the skirmisher contact you'll be meeting other than his name. Mox.
Mox. Praetor Mox. His death squads wiped out entire camps of my people in the first years of the war. You would dare do this?
Pretty sure hands are bloody on both sides of this fight. That's the whole point of this intervention.
Reapers are born in the shadows, in the cold, harsh world that was waiting for us out there. We rely on stealth and long-range attacks, and our marksmen are unmatched by even the best XCOM has to offer.
And this is the Shadow, which is the signature ability of the Reaper operative. Essentially, it's a form of stealth, except unlike regular stealth, you don't necessarily lose it when you engage in combat.
Damaged and dormant all these years, these devices still emit trace elements of unstable radiation. I cannot fathom what they were like in their original function.
We were there, Doctor. You're better off having missed it.
Anytime a Reaper takes a shot at a target with their sniper rifle while they're in the shadow, there's a chance that they won't be revealed. Initially that chance is 50%, and each subsequent shot increases the chance that they're going to drop out of stealth, but that they can then re-stealth once during the course of a mission and go through the whole process again. At least at first. Once you start ranking them up and developing their skills, they become able to operate and attack from stealth for extended periods of time, with increased lethality. Oh, and this is new as well. Yeah, these are the Lost. You're going to love them.
No more time for regret. We are not alone.
Those things, they still look like people.
What was human died years ago. Only the taint of the aliens survives now. Where there is one, more will follow. You must not hesitate to destroy them.
Yeah, these are basically zombies.
Position confirmed.
There's no point in trying to be subtle about it, that's exactly what they are. But they do introduce a very nice new game mechanic, which makes encounters with the Lost very, very tense and exciting.
Target
These
neutralized.
creatures' true strength lies in their numbers. As you can see, they fall easily. If we are careful with our shots, we will prevail.
Headshot chaining. Every time you kill a Lost with a standard attack, you get another action point. So you can keep shooting and keep killing them. Although it's probably a better idea to use that action point wisely and run the hell away, because they just keep coming. They're a kind of endless zombie horde. And like the zombies that we all know and love from watching shows like The Walking Dead and George Romero zombie movies, they're attracted by loud noises. Do try to be careful with explosives.
These creatures' DNA has mutated well beyond what we would classify as human. Perhaps the result of long-term exposure to the alien radiation from those pods. Though why anyone would subject themselves to that, I cannot imagine.
When the governments fell, millions starved. Many fled to cities such as this to scavenge for food. They did not heed the warnings.
They're zombies. Just say zombies. It's okay. We won't be embarrassed. We get it.
I'm on the move.
Oh, incidentally, another Reaper ability. I dropped a Claymore mine on the ground over there. Now, Reapers can drop these Claymores or throw these Claymores without de-stealthing themselves. And then somebody else can shoot the Claymore, and it's an environmental explosive. But remember,
Return to your gods.
the Lost are attracted by loud noises. Any explosion is going to summon a fresh swarm of Lost, in addition to the ones that you're already fighting. Now, I didn't know this at the time. I was just taking advantage of the fact that every time you kill a Lost with a standard attack, i.e. not a grenade or an explosive, you get a free action. So I was taking advantage of that to put them down quickly and efficiently. I'm going to find out about the explosive thing before too long, though.
These creatures are worse even than Advent. They have no cause, no fear. They simply exist. If we do not defeat the aliens soon, we will become little more than they are.
Extraction point is close, but looks like these things don't want to make it easy for you.
We will make it to your pet Advent in time.
4 lost. 3 lost. Got 4 shots in the shotgun. So, providing I keep hitting, I can just keep shooting and then use my final free action as a reload or run to the extraction point. And then I thought to myself, hang on, those two are standing reasonably close together. I wonder if I can take them both out with a grenade. No, Jingles, don't do it. As it happens, they're just a little bit too far apart to make a grenade throw practical. So, more through luck than judgment, I just continued chaining headshots on them. Last one's down, shotgun's empty, but no more targets for the moment. And the extraction point, or rather the rendezvous point, is just up ahead.
We risk all this for pray tell Mox? If he is not what you say he is, I shall kill him myself.
Looking forward to this meeting already.
Rock and roll!
Christine Fisher, my ranger, has made it. Now, Elena Dragonova,
Too far.
you get it, because she's carrying a Dragonov sniper rifle, although they call it a Vector sniper rifle here in XCOM2, but we know it's a Dragonov, we get it. And we're done.
You should have a clear path through now. Second squad is already en route to Mox. Proceed to the rendezvous and await their arrival.
Oh, we'll be there.
But yes, this mission's in 2 parts. We have another 2-man team.
We may have a bigger problem here. I'm guessing that's our man. Well, our contact anyway.
Crocksod. Advent. Hobbit. Voxtala. They were sent here to hunt, to purge the Drot and the Lost. Our meeting point is still secure. She is free of the imposter gods. I would give anything that all my kind could say the same. Even sit down with your Reapers. Now, we must go.
Rendezvous with Outrider is further ahead. Proceed through this district as quickly as possible, but be careful. Something tells me this city still has a few more surprises to throw our way.
Surprises are the least of our worries today. It is these Reapers of yours that are of true concern.
We, the Skirmishers, were created by the false gods of this world to serve and die as their puppets.
Yeah, yada yada yada. The Skirmishers, what do you need to know about them? They're basically Advent troops that have defected and gone over to the Resistance. As such, absolutely nobody trusts them because they used to be the bad guys. The Skirmishers' 2 special abilities are a grappling hook, which allows them extreme mobility on the battlefield, and also, and this is really cool, firing their submachine gun does not end their turn. They still get the same regular 2 moves as anybody else, but they can move, then fire, or they can move twice, the same as everybody else, or they can fire and then move, or they can even fire twice.
Don't remember seeing these things before.
You were not meant to. Purifiers were created with a singular purpose, to contain the Drot 10, the Lost. We must eliminate this patrol quickly before others arrive.
Fine by me. Take them down.
Skirmishers, like Mox here, also have another special ability. It's called Justice. What that does is it allows them to use their grappling hook offensively. They can snare a target with it, like that Purifier over there, and drag the target to them so that they can finish them off with a lethal melee ability. You need to be careful when you're engaging these Purifiers in melee combat, however, because they have an annoying tendency to explode. Something that I didn't discover until later, and discovered the hard way. This Justice ability, like most of the other Skirmishers' abilities, can be further improved and refined as he gains promotions. At the moment, the ability is used to drag the target to him, but he can also upgrade it so it works the other way, and he can drag himself to the target.
You weren't kidding when you said those tanks could explode. Careful with these things. We don't need to take any unnecessary chances.
The patrol has been liberated. May their lives not be lost in vain. We must push forward and complete our mission.
Works for me. Move out.
And the rendezvous point is just up ahead. There's just one tiny little sort of problemette before we can get there, though. Well, that's certainly fixed that problem. Unfortunately, it's just created another.
Purifiers may be down, but unfortunately, that was our extraction point.
I fear that is not the worst of it. Multiple biological signatures rapidly on approach to your position.
The Lost. The sound of combat excites them. They are drawn to it.
And you just blew up a fuel truck?
There was no other choice. Find an alternate exit. We will deal with the lost.
And that is a lost swarm, and that's what you get if you start throwing explosives around.
Draklar. Dashers. They are not as docile as the rest of their kind.
An apt description. It would seem the mutation has somehow accelerated these Dashers' metabolism, allowing enhanced speed and agility, with a corresponding increase in aggression.
Taken care of.
So, little bit of out of the frying pan into the fire there, no pun intended.
I'm on it.
Central is working on finding us another extraction point, and while he's busy doing that, we have to hold this position for the next 4 turns. And if by some miracle we're still alive at the end of those 4 turns, we then have to make it to the new extraction point. Now, I suspect that later on in the game, dealing with the Lost is going to be significantly easier, because you're going to have weapons with expanded magazines, so you have more shots that you can actually burn through without having to reload. And also your aim stat is going to be much better, so you won't miss as much. Remember, you can only continue to chain headshots and keep killing Lost, providing you successfully hit and kill them. So all it takes is a couple of unlucky misses, and suddenly what looked like a fairly strong defensive position can get overrun very quickly.
Enemy down.
Also, it pays to remember that they're basically a zombie horde. They are going to keep coming. You can stand here all day shooting them. They will not stop coming. And they have a very rude habit of, just when you're perfectly set up to chain headshot them, all as they come at you from one direction, they like to come in from another direction. It's really unsporting of them, but it all adds to the fun. That is a lot of bad guys. It's lucky you can never really run out of ammunition in XCOM 2. I mean, your clip can run dry and you'll have to reload.
Just need another minute.
You have your minute.
Yeah, I'm a bit more confident than I'm feeling. Jane's surrounded. She's got 3 shots left in a shotgun. There are 4 lost around her, so she's going to need help dealing with them, assuming that she doesn't miss any of her shots. So, there's 1.
Enemy eliminated.
Headshot, free action. There's 2. 1 shot left. Ah, crap, there's another one.
Gonna need to reload soon.
Yep. Now, are we going to reload, or are we going to move?
Nailed him.
Got 1 free action. She is a ranger. We can just hack his face off. That also works.
Enemies down.
Okay. Targets up. Lars has shots at 2 lost. 1 down.
No longer a threat.
He's got 1 shot left. And it didn't kill him. So now his weapon is empty, and he's going to have to spend his first action in the next turn reloading. Come on, Mox. There's 1.
The light has left him.
And now finish this guy off.
Almost out of ammunition.
And now he has to reload.
Their journey ends here.
It's starting to get tight.
Cover me. Reloading.
Oh, come on. Where's that evac? Central. There it is. Yes.
We found a new route that should get you to the rendezvous point safely. The Lost are still converging on the area, so make it fast.
That will not be a problem.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me twice. You see, this is the thing when you're fighting the Lost. It's so easy to kill them. The temptation is always to just stay for that little bit longer and just farm some more kills.
Okay.
But screw that. I mean, look at... There's thousands of them. I'm getting out of here.
Outrider and the first team should be waiting for you ahead. I know this wasn't the easiest stop, but I have to believe it'll still be worth it in the end.
That depends on the Reapers.
Rendezvous point directly ahead. Let's try and play nice today, people.
So, Advent's most brutal captain comes to atone for his crimes.
I am no longer that being. I am free now.
Taking off that helmet does not change what you are. Reapers have long memories, Elder Cracksod. Anytime.
The way I see it, we have two options. Join forces and kick the Elders off our world, or kill each other here and now. The choice is yours.
No one has ever done that before. No one shall ever do that again.
What the hell is that?
Vox Prima, Elder Assassin, relentless death that stalks my kind, butcher of freed Advent.
My people face another like her. They are the undying, Advent's curse upon us. We must combine strength if we are to have any chance of success.
You are welcome to try.
And that, boys and girls, is the Assassin. The Assassin is one of three chosen. Ultra-elite, badass Advent killers. And these three chosen, above and beyond everything else. I mean, they didn't even have to put the chosen in to make this expansion worth the money. I mean, we've barely scratched the surface of what these resistance groups add to the gameplay, but the chosen can turn the most boring and predictable milk run of a supply raid mission into something so scary I would rather be playing Alien Isolation. This assassin in particular is downright evil. For one thing, she stealths. She is liable to just pop out of the shadows from absolutely nowhere, do massive damage to one of your squad, and then stealth up again, and leaving you wondering what the hell just happened. So naturally the response to that is put everybody on Overwatch. Just get into cover, nice all-round defense, everybody goes into Overwatch. As soon as she pops up, yep, she's going to do some damage to one of your squad, but then everybody will just mow her down. Nice plan. Unfortunately, she's immune to Overwatch. She does not trigger reaction fire. So there's that. So you've got the squad all hunkered down and you've circled the wagons and you're just waiting to take advantage of Overwatch fire. But yeah, no. So she de-stealths, does massive damage to one of your squad, bleeds them, dazes them, and then immediately stealths up again as the rest of the team are just sitting around sort of shell-shocked and terrified, doing nothing about it. And then she stealths up again, ready to do it all again. How the hell do you deal with that? That's not all she can do. She also likes to return fire. If you do take a shot at her, you better be damn sure that you hit, because if you miss, there's a very high chance that she will automatically, free of action cost, return fire at whoever took a shot at her and missed. That's not all she does, although those are probably the most important ones. So I'm sitting here struggling to think of a strategy. How the hell am I going to deal with this seemingly unstoppable killing machine? I tried circling the wagons and going into Overwatch. That clearly isn't going to work. Perhaps if I get everybody to hunker down to increase their dodge and their defense, and then attempt, rather than going into Overwatch, attempt to get a shot off when she attacks next. Well, she has a way of dealing with that as well. You see, if you cluster everybody up for mutual defense, she does this.
Let it wash over you.
Oh, now that's just not playing fair. How are you supposed to kill her? Well, she does come with some weaknesses to match her very, very formidable strengths. First, she takes extra damage from explosives. Now that's not particularly useful when you're fighting her in a level that includes lots and lots of Lost, because they're attracted by explosions. But it is definitely a weakness. And you can deal with Lost fairly easily. Trying to deal with this assassin is a bloody nightmare. Secondly, each one of the Chosen has an adversary. In the case of the assassin, her adversary are the Reapers, which means Elena Dragonova over here does increased damage to the assassin. The tactic that I have found works best against the assassin, at least initially. In fact, it works reasonably well. Well as anything does when you're fighting the assassin. But at least initially, throw lots of grenades. If you have the slightest idea of where she is, flush her out of stealth with a grenade, and then do not give her a second to recover. Hit her with absolutely everything you've got. That's what I'm trying to do here. I mean, that's where she stealthed up, and I was working on the assumption that she was still going to be there. Unfortunately, she kind of wasn't. Fighting the assassin on a level that includes the Lost can therefore be exceptionally exciting. Because what do loud noises do if you're fighting on a level where there are Lost? That's right, they spawn swarms. There she is. Come on, don't miss. Yes, okay, good. Remember, if you fire at her and miss, there's a very, very good chance she's going to retaliate. So, you know, let's not have that happen. Got a squad mate down. Let's get Jane back up. Jane and Mox here are in the process of forming a very strong bond with each other. They're going to become bond mates because they're helping each other out in combat. They're going to unlock access to some very, very strong abilities, one of which, teamwork, is the initial bond mate ability that you gain. It allows bond mates to grant each other extra action points. It's an incredibly useful ability. For now, we've got to hammer this bitch while she's still visible. Remembering, of course, that she's immune to melee attacks, which is really annoying. Come on, Kostya, shoot her in the face. Do it for Russia. Yes, excellent.
I had not expected this conflict to be so exhilarating. You surprise me, XCOM. Still, the Elder's will is that none survive this day. I cannot leave that to fortune.
The sonic dispersal waves emitting from that pod are crisscrossing a massive area.
And what Dr. Tigan said, translated into English, is they're making a hell of a lot of noise, and this city is infested with the Lost, which means it's time to DD Mao.
The entire swarm converges upon us. We cannot hold this position much longer.
Outrider to Avenger, where the hell's our exit? This is as low as I can get her.
No! I do not intend to die this day. I will follow. Foxtrot 410.
Time to return home, traitor.
Oh, and yes, did I mention that the Chosen also like to take prisoners? And if we want to see Mox again, via the Resistance networks, we're going to have to find out where he's being held prisoner, and then mount an operation to go and rescue him. And as you gain experience, and your troops get stronger, the Chosen, and there are 3 of them by the way, we've only seen the Assassin so far, the Chosen also level up, develop new abilities, and get stronger. And they do like to drop in, unannounced from time to time, when you're conducting other operations. The Chosen can appear at any time. If you're conducting operations in an area that's dominated by one of the Chosen, they can party crash your missions anytime they like. This is just such an amazing game. I loved XCOM 2 anyway. This expansion makes it absolutely incredible. And there is so much more to show you, particularly as we get involved with the other resistance networks. So far we've seen just the barest glimpse of the Reapers and the Skirmishers. There's so much more of them to see. We haven't even seen the third resistance faction, the Templars. All of that going to be coming in future XCOM 2 War of the Chosen videos. I hope you're even half as excited about this game as I am, and I hope you've enjoyed today's video. It's nice to be back up and running with a reliable internet service. In the meantime, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.